You can put this router outside in the rain and have great internet speeds on the backyard, or even share internet with your neighbors. I've got about 250 square meters on the backyard and I'm getting top speeds, even in my little hideout where I do have the swimming pool pump and my inverters for the solar panels. This router can be used as a router or probably as an access point depending on our needs. It's targeted to be used outside, raining, snowing, wind, sun, whatever. It has IP65 water protection, which we will check in just a few moments, and it's called Asus ZenWifi BD4 Outdoor with Wi-Fi 7. Now, I did place it next to my window and I walked around on my backyard, and honestly, the yard should be bigger so that I could test out this router. Around 250 square meters, actually just a little bit more. And even at the far end of the yard, I was still getting the maximum of my connection, which is 500 megabits per second with no problems at all. And if I go to the other end of the backyard, it's about the same. Then I did test it out on that small hideout where I do have the swimming pool pump machines, and I do have all the inverters, and it didn't complain that much. It did drop a little bit, but nothing serious. Actually, I even tried to hide it behind not only the wall, but I did drop to the floor level because it's below ground level here on the basement area, and even then still top. So in terms of speeds, if you're looking for something for your backyard to have stronger speeds than you have on the inside, great. And although it's meant to be used outside, I was a bit curious, so I went inside. And where I am right over here, which is not far away from where it was there on the window, I had the same speeds because it's close and no issues whatsoever. Then I went to the other room where I do have the gym equipment, and yeah, it did drop a little bit, about 370 megabits per second, but still great speeds. Next, I went to the ground floor, which is just one floor above this one, and on the balconies, all good. On the far ends of one of the balconies, I was hitting 500 megabits per second, just like if I was next to the unit. And then I went inside, which is the ground floor on the living room, and there it went down like 20 megabits per second because of all the barriers that we will find, the concrete slab and all the stairs and whatnot. So the limitation will be about that, especially here on my house configuration, which I've shared with you many times. Then I was curious and I went to the first floor on the balconies because this is meant to be on the outside, and no surprise, same speeds once again, reaching the 500 megabits per second more or less. There were times that it did drop a little bit because I believe that it has a stronger signal on this direction right over here than on the top, and I did notice when I placed myself a little bit backwards. First of all, I was getting barriers, but I was also capturing the signal from right over here. So I'm not really sure if it was about the barriers or if it is the signal that it's not so strong on the top. So that's something that I can't say for sure, probably a little bit of both. Now, my internet speed is limited at 500 megabits per second, but I did test out as well with open speed test and managed to hit gigabit speed. So if you have a gigabit internet speed, you will definitely get even higher speeds than what I was getting and what I did show you on my phone. We can connect one single Ethernet cable to this unit and have Ethernet and power signal over PoE, assuming that you have a PoE switch. But if you don't, then no worries whatsoever, because it brings a power cable that you can just plug into any of your sockets, and then we will need to connect, besides the power, also the Ethernet cable. It has 2 times 2.5 gigabit RJ45 ports with PoE, which we might want to use or not depending on our situation. And the cable entry area here has rubber protections that will seal the holes if we are not using all of them. For the ones that we will use, then it will be tightened between the rubber system, which I really enjoyed, and we just need to screw in 2 screws to tight enough to keep water out. It is IP65 rated, and of course I did test it with water. No issues, it kept working just fine. And if we take a look here at the bottom, we can see that all this area will be completely closed with rubber, and it also has a thin layer of rubber right over here, so when we screw in these two screws, it will just tighten it up and nothing will get in here, which is cool. Now we can mount it on any surface like this, like I was using on the outside, and we can put it on a wall as well because it has this mounting right over here. But besides the mounting, we can put it on a pole. It comes with two wires that we can just use this mount right over here to pass the wires and then just go through the pole. And if we take a look here, we can see that it has the shape for a pole, so it doesn't matter the weight that we want to put it on a surface, to put it on a pole, or to put it on a wall. Really cool. The app is the same that we have seen in other Asus routers. It's the Asus router app, and besides being used as an access point or part of a mesh system, which I believe that it will be 90% of the times for 90% of the users, but it can also be used as a router. Let's imagine that this is the only thing that you require besides your ISP router. You can turn this into your main router and control everything, because the software, as we have seen, it's capable of controlling a lot, and we can choose between access point or router on the configurations, and after that we will have more options or less options. I really enjoyed to test out this unit because usually what happens is that I do have my internet units inside with Wi-Fi, and then I do calculate where I do place them so that I do have Wi-Fi outside when we are on the swimming pool and other areas. But this one right over here is designed to be on the outside, and that's really cool because we will be able to have really cool speeds on the outside, and I don't need to worry about rain, snow, wind, whatever, because it's really well protected. So instead of being limited with the location of the units that I've got here inside, using one of these on the outside, it's really cool. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you did so, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.